Connect the main power supply to the unit. To access the installer level parameters, press the right arrow button. You will then be prompted to enter the installer password. Use the up and down arrow buttons to adjust the first digit to 5. Then press the right arrow button to move to the next digit. Repeat this process to fill in the remaining digits and enter the password 5309. Once the final digit has been entered, press the right arrow button to access the installer menu. The installer level parameters are arranged in a menu-submenu structure to help with navigation. There are 4 main menus with multiple submenus under each. The functions of the arrow buttons will be displayed on the screen and will change depending if you are on the main menu screen or a sub-menu screen. When on the main menu screen, use the up and down arrow buttons to scroll through the list of available sub-menus. To access the currently selected sub-menu, press the right arrow button. To save changes and exit the installer menu, press the left arrow button. Once a sub-menu has been selected, use the up and down arrow buttons to adjust the value of the parameter. Use the right arrow button to move to the next parameter. Use the left arrow button to return to the main menu. To exit the installer level parameters without saving changes, you must cycle power to the unit before exiting the menu. Press the right arrow button to access the general sub-menu. The first parameter visible is time and date. The control uses an internal clock for the night setback feature. For this feature to work correctly, the time and date must be set when the unit is first installed or when the unit has been powered off for more than 4 hours. Use the up and down arrow buttons to adjust the hour. Press the right arrow button to select minutes. Repeat this process until the correct time and date have been entered. The second parameter visible is temperature units. The control can display temperatures in either Fahrenheit or Celsius. Use the up and down arrow buttons to adjust the temperature units. The third parameter visible is max set point. Max set point sets the maximum limit of what the user can adjust the tank set point parameter to. The default temperature is 180 degrees Fahrenheit. The adjustment range for this parameter is 60 degrees Fahrenheit to 180 degrees Fahrenheit. The fourth parameter visible is manual reset high limit. When the outlet temperature exceeds the setting of the manual reset high limit parameter, the unit will shut down. The unit will remain in lockout until the reset button on the display has been pressed. The default temperature set point is 210 degrees Fahrenheit. The adjustment range for this parameter is 32 degrees Fahrenheit to 210 degrees Fahrenheit. The fifth parameter visible is tank set point differential. The tank set point differential sets the number of degrees that the tank sensor must read below the tank set point for the unit to begin firing. The default temperature is 8 degrees Fahrenheit, and the temperature range for this parameter is 0 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit. The sixth parameter visible is tank set point offset. The tank set point offset sets the number of degrees that the tank sensor must read above the tank set point to satisfy the heat demand. The default temperature is 2 degrees Fahrenheit, and the temperature range for this parameter is 0 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit. The seventh parameter visible is pump delay. This sets the length of time that the control will allow the pump to operate after a heat demand has been satisfied. The default time is 30 seconds. The time range for this parameter is 10 seconds to 40 minutes. Press the left arrow button to return to the main menu. Press the down arrow button to select the night setback menu. Press the right arrow button to access the night setback submenu. The first parameter visible is night setback offset. Once the date and time have been set, the night setback offset can be used to lower the tank set point. The default setting is 0 degrees Fahrenheit. This feature is turned off with a setting of 0 degrees Fahrenheit. The temperature range for this parameter is 0 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. The second parameter visible is night setback start and stop times. If the night setback offset is set to anything other than 0 degrees Fahrenheit, the night setback feature becomes active. This will require start and stop times for the days reduced temperatures will be required. There are 7 on times and 7 off times that may be set to any time on any day. These settings are referred to as triggers. When a start and stop trigger are programmed for the same day and time, the stop trigger will have priority and night setback will remain inactive. Use the up and down arrow keys to adjust the day for night setback 1 start. Press the right select key to select hours. Repeat this procedure to adjust the start night setback 1 parameter. Press the right arrow key to select the night setback 1 stop parameter. Repeat this procedure to adjust all 7 start and stop triggers. Press the left arrow button to return to the main menu. Press the down arrow button to select the BMS menu. Press the right arrow button to access the BMS sub-menu. The shield water heater can be controlled by a Building Management System, or BMS, only if equipped with the optional Modbus or BACnet control. Refer to the instructions that come with the optional control for its installation configuration. Once the optional control has been installed, the installer can configure the water heater to use the signal to control either the set point or the modulation of the unit. The first parameter visible is BMS Enable. If the optional Modbus or BACnet control has been installed and it is desired for the 0 to 10 volt DC signal to control the unit, this parameter must be set to Enabled. If the parameter is set to Disabled, the unit will ignore the supplied signal. The default setting for this parameter is Disabled. The second parameter visible is BMS Type. The 0 to 10 volt DC signal can control either the set point or modulation rate of the unit. The default setting is Set Point. The adjustment range is Power or Set Point. The third parameter visible is Voltage at Minimum. This parameter sets the voltage at which the modulation rate or set point will increase. With a voltage signal at or below this setting, the control will operate at the minimum modulation or set point values that have been programmed. The default voltage is 2 volts. The adjustment range is 0 to 10 volts. The fourth parameter visible is Voltage at Maximum. This parameter sets the voltage at which the modulation rate or set point will be at their maximum programmed values. The default voltage is 10 volts. The adjustment range is 0 to 10 volts. The fifth parameter visible is On Volts. This parameter sets the voltage needed to initiate a hot water call for heat. The default voltage is 2 volts. The adjustment range is 0 to 10 volts. The sixth parameter visible is Off Differential Volts. This parameter sets how far below the On Volts parameter the voltage must drop to disable a hot water call for heat. The default voltage is 1 volt. The adjustment range is 0 to 10 volts. The seventh parameter visible is Rate at Minimum. When the BMS type parameter is set to power, this parameter will determine the modulation rate of the unit when the 0 to 10 volt DC signal is at or below the setting of the Voltage at Minimum parameter. The default power setting is 20%. The adjustment range is 20 to 100%. The eighth parameter visible is Rate at Maximum. When the BMS type parameter is set to power, this parameter will determine the modulation rate of the unit when the 0 to 10 volt DC signal is at the setting of the voltage at maximum parameter. The default power setting is 100%. The adjustment range is 20 to 100%. The ninth parameter visible is SETPOINT at minimum. When the BMS type parameter is set to SETPOINT, this parameter will determine the set point of the unit when the 0 to 10 volt DC signal is at or below the setting of the voltage at minimum parameter. The default temperature is 70 degrees Fahrenheit. The temperature range for this parameter is 32 to 180 degrees Fahrenheit. The 10th parameter visible is SETPOINT at maximum. When the BMS type parameter is set to SETPOINT, this parameter will determine the set point of the unit when the 0 to 10 volt DC signal is at the setting of the voltage at maximum parameter. The default temperature is 180 degrees Fahrenheit. The temperature range for this parameter is 70 to 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Press the left arrow button to return to the main menu. The last menu visible is Setup Wizard. If you do not wish to enter the Setup Wizard and all changes have been made to the parameters, press the left arrow button to save the changes and exit the menu. If you wish to re-enter the Setup Wizard, press the down arrow button. Press the right arrow button to access the Setup Wizard sub-menu. The control will restart the Setup Wizard. For more information on the Setup Wizard, refer to the video Programming the Setup Wizard. After programming the control with the desired operational parameters, the unit will now be ready to accept a heat demand.